Naging estudyante pala ito ni Maring Winnie, itong si Marcos Jr. Unang tagpo pa ng absent. Pasaway. Tapos sinabi niya, bagsak daw sa politics. Oh my God. As presidente ngayon, panoorin natin to.
That you tutored a student from Oxford in his early 20s for the subject macroeconomics. And that is our incumbent President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.
Apparently, he passed economics, but he did not pass politics.
Nako!
He is now the President of the Republic of the Philippines. He is now midway through his term, Professor Monsod.
Yeah.
How would you assess his performance and his economic team in managing the economy?
Well, we'll just have to evaluate him against what he set out to do. And what he set out to do is in his Philippine Development Plan. And as it so happens, I have it right here.
So based on the facts.
Well, you know, what did he set out to do in 2022? You know, he has a 23 to 2028 development plan. Okay, so let's get it. In sum, the Philippine Development Plan has 11 headline indicators. Okay? First headline indicator. Itong headline, nakalagay quotes in headline, PDP 2023-2028. Ang indicator ay gross domestic product growth rate. Okay? Ang target nila for 2023 was 6 to 7%.
Okay.
Wow.
For 2024, last year, it was 6.5 to 8%.
All right.
Wow.
Okay? But somewhere in the middle of 2023 and 2024, dinownsize nila yung target.
Because none of these targets have been achieved in 2023 and 2024.
23 target was achieved, 6%.
6%.
Okay. So 2024,
Downside.
it says here 6.5 to 8. That's
Yes.
in the Philippine Development Plan.
But you're talking about the lower end of the target.
No, 6.5 to 8%.
Yes.
Okay? But sometime in the middle, they downsize the target.
Kasi wala ng budget.
And it became 6 to 7%. And in the middle of 2024, Secretary Balisacan of NEDA
Ubus na kasi yung budget.
was talagang trumpeting from the treetops, we will do it. We have achieved 6% for the first half of 2024, and we will achieve it, and we're doing great guns. And then at the end of 2024,
Ubus
he
na
was
budget.
very quiet. Did not say anything. Yung pala, well, you know that we grew at 5.6%
Bumaba.
in 2024 with a 5.2% growth in the fourth quarter.
And the economic managers, Professor Monsod, have always been touting that we are the best performing economy in Asia, if not in the world.
The number 2 to Vietnam. All right. That's fine. But they've said that. But when they did not say that some time ago we were the worst performing, and we are still the worst performing. What they're doing kasi is they're saying, all right, we grew better than everybody else except Vietnam.
Yeah.
So in the global competitiveness, they wanted to be 57th or 54th out of in global indication. They achieved that. Okay. Global competitiveness, they completely underperformed. All right. Unemployment rate did all right, but the percentage of wage salary workers in private establishments, in other words, in terms of the quality of employment, they failed. So that's
May trabaho, pero ang quality niya ay mababa. Oo, parang example na lang, binigyan nga tayo ng trabaho, pero panay kasambahay. Mga ganun ba?
that's the fifth. And then let's
Masabi lang na tumaas yung employment rate.
see.
But, Professor, this is just the first 3 years of the Marcos Jr. administration. It may be achieved throughout his 6-year term.
According to we also have that because the Philippine Statistics Authority has a monitoring system for all the indicators in the Philippine Development Plan. And according to them, and this is called StatDev 2024, and boy, according to that assessment,
They
Philippines
fail.
did a pretty poor job.
Poor.
I mean, that's the government evaluating itself.
Yes, yes.
Ay,
And now I'm just doing this in terms of what I see from what the newspapers indicate and what their targets are. So food inflation rate did very badly.
Nako.
All right, headline inflation rate did very badly.
Nako!
National government deficit, they wanted to have a deficit of 5.1% last year. Their deficit was 6.1. So, you know, in other words, according to this headline indicators, 6 out of the 11 indicators, they underperformed.
But
And
what
these
are
are
the
the important
positives?
ones.
What are the positives?
The positives are they got employment right, but the quantity of employment.
Mga job fair, o sige, tanggap sila ng tanggap. Pero anong mga trabaho? Anong quality ng trabaho yan? Baka nga naman, kulang-kulang sila sa mga benepisyo dyan. Oo, masabi lang talaga na, okay, marami tayong na-employ ngayon, ha?
But the quality of employment, they did not get right because they wanted to both quantity and quality, which is good. Development plan. They poverty incidence, they did not get right. See, nice, they say, wow, our poverty went down to 10.9%. Well, that's family. The poverty incidence was 15.5% in 2023. And what we were hoping for
Kakaya.
2020, well, there's no poverty incidence, but for 2025, we were hoping that it would be 12.9 to 13.2%. No, we underperformed.
So what is the problem here, Professor Monsod? Why isn't this government hitting its targets?
Well, I'll tell you. For example, one of the key, the president himself said that one of the key cabinet positions was agriculture. What did he do?
Nawakan niya.
He made himself agriculture secretary. Got so many things. He's doing so many things. He cannot.
Kasi yan yung position na gustong-gusto nilang kunin noong panahon ni Tatay Digong. Ayaw ni Tatay Digong kasi nga bangag eh. So, pag-upo na pag-upo, kinuha niya itong position na to kasi alam nila maraming pera dito. In fact, yung smuggling na yung involved yung si Michael Ma at saka yung kapatid ni Lisa, abay, hindi nila itinuloy yung investigation doon.
He cannot, concentrate on agriculture.
But
And
now he has an agriculture secretary.
Yes, but what is his agriculture secretary? A fisher
nga.
folk. I mean, the son of a fishing magnate who became a fishing magnate because his father was a fishing magnate.
Nako.
What does he know about agriculture?
Wala.
Nothing. What's good about him is that he at least kept the good people around him.
How serious is the issue of corruption in this administration, Professor Monsod?
I have always pointed out to my students that corruption and what, as you said, governance, that's corruption. Governance is so very important, and it is that issue that has kept us, not only this administration, but all the previous administrations. And so the Philippines has essentially performed so badly compared to its neighbors, with a higher per capita income than Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam. 1960. In 2009, that was
Nako.
reversed completely. Thailand was ahead of us in per capita income. Indonesia was ahead of us in per capita income. And guess what? In 2018, Vietnam went ahead of us in per capita income.
Napag-iwanan eh.
So I looked. What causes this difference in growth rates? Because that's what happens. They have
Corruption.
higher growth rates than we. What causes the difference in growth rates between countries? And it turns out, from empirical studies, that the main cause of the difference in growth rates is government policy and institutions. That's the one for corruption. Okay? government policy and institutions.
Lalo
And so,
na ngayon, no? Grabe
I looked
na
at what our government policy and institutions were throughout the years. My God, we are the most corrupt in Asia. Yeah,
Isn't this
it's really
government-
corruption,
But-
of course.
But Professor, we saw
Dinidiyos nila si
President
Martin
Marcos
Romualdez.
Jr. win by more than 30 million votes. He got 30 million votes. And he had the political will to fix the system.
Wow.
Hasn't he had
Sana
made any changes in terms of righting the ship?
I wish I could be more optimistic. I mean, you know, they talk about how the Philippines is growing faster, etc. But they're not looking at that's growth, but that's not development. Development, you're talking about education. What is the learning poverty in the Philippines? You know, there's a difference. What is education and learning? Education, you go to school. Learning is what you learn. Okay? As far as learning is concerned, we are the worst.
So, ang point niya, may growth tayo pero walang development. Parang, alam mo yung, parang sa ano lang, sa bata. For example, a very simple example. Pinalaki mo yung bata, okay, para lumaki lang siya pero ang mga pinapakain mo, hindi masustansya. Oo. May trabaho ka, binigyan mo lang siya ng trabaho pero walang kwentang trabaho. Alam mo yun, parang ano lang, may masabi lang na okay, meron tayong growth sa employment pero the quality of that, hindi siya masyadong na-develop. Basta lang may pakita, parang ganun lang.
Country performance in ASEAN and almost all of Asia. So there is hope. If you really have a president who means what he says.
Tinanong kasi ni reporter na may hope pa ba? Sabi niya, there is hope. Basta sabi niya ganun. Pero nung tinanong si Marcos dito kay Marcos Jr., may hope ba?
And look.
So is there still hope for this administration in the last 3 years until 2028?
You want my
honest opinion?
Wala.
Kasi
Wala
you
na.
got people around.
Akala ko ba there is hope? Tinanong na may hope pa ba dito sa last 3 years ni Marcos Jr.? Ano sabi mo? Wala. Akala ko ba may hope? Ano ba talaga?
Around the president who
Yeah.
kasi
Yeah.
Until 2028?
you want my
Honest opinion?
kasi
Wala.
you've got people around the president who do not deserve to be in government, who do not.
Okay.
You know, he has so much potential, and he means
potential
well.
niya?
His first
Bumagsak nga sa politics, sabi mo.
so na address, you know, I was kind of impressed. Of course, you know, he was so kind to
Kasi
Duterte,
hanggang
and now
salita
he's so brutal to Duterte.
Oh,
Of
yan,
course, you know, he was so kind to Duterte, and now he's so brutal to Duterte. You know how these things change. He was so thankful to Duterte. I mean, don't look at what he talks about. You look at what
The
he
actions.
does.
Ibig sabihin, huwag niyong paniwalaan ang kanyang mga pinagsasabi. Kasi iba yung kanyang ginagawa sa kanyang sinasabi. Ayun, totoo yan, tama.
The center of attention right now in this upcoming elections, the Marcos Jr. camp and the Duterte camp. And as we all know, there's an ongoing rift between these two families. And you've been in public service long enough, Professor Monsod, to see many alliances break up and crumble. What do you make now of this rift between President Marcos and Vice President Sara Duterte?
Well, I think the rift between Marcos and Duterte was caused by somebody else.
Tama! Caused by somebody else, sino pa ba? Alam nyo na. Paki-mention mo nga kung sino yung somebody else na yan.
I mean, was caused by somebody, and I will not mention names,
Mention mo.
who wants to be president and wants to remove Sara Duterte as a candidate. It's obviously not the president. He does not want to be the president, but it is somebody who must be close to the president who wants.
Siyempre, nasa likod din yung presidente ngayon. Hindi magagawa nung somebody na yan kung hindi sa support nung president ngayon.
Sara Duterte out, and that's what has happened. And you see so they want to impeach now Sara Duterte, and it's such a big issue. I know she should be impeached. She is corrupt, etc.
That you tutored.
Okay, so real talk ang mga sinabi ni Maring Winnie dito. Nako Marcos, shout out. Palpak ka daw. Walang mangyayari in the last 3 years na remaining mo.